So our resources are limited or scarce and wants are unlimited. So this is the challenge. If your resources are limited but wants are unlimited, how you will balance? So that is the subject matter of economics. I don't know, in last class we defined economics or not? We defined? Yes. Okay, so we already defined economics. So economics is a science that deals with the methods of using the scarce resources to fulfill the most important ones with maximum efficiency. So the role of economics here is to ensure the efficiency. Efficiency in what? In using the resources. So when we will go to fulfill the wants, we need to engage the resources, because without resource or without engaging resource, you will not get any product. Because if you like to produce something, you need to engage the resources. So when you have this scarce resource, what you are doing actually, because you have a long list of wants, so what you have to do with wants? We have to set the priority. Which are the wants or which wants you will fulfill first? So for example, what are the things? What are the things you would like to produce? This is the first question. You have to answer this question first. So it is not easy. So what are the things you will produce? So it depends on what? What are the things you will produce? What do you think?
Priority.
Yeah, priority depends on what?
Basic needs.
Basic needs of the social life.
Okay. The most important thing is food. If you desire to have a helicopter, but your resource doesn't permit it, so why you will desire that? So it is a part of the desire, but when you will choose what are the things you will go to have or enjoy or consume or produce, it depends on primarily on the resource available to you, because the capability of resource is important. If the resource cannot produce a lot of things, then it will not happen. The resource must produce something. Okay, so that is the first thing. First question you have to solve. And the second question is, once you finalize the resources, for example, you have a piece of land, you can have paddy or tomato or together paddy or and tomato or any other things. So you finalize, for example, you would like to have paddy and tomato. Fine. You finalize that this is the combination of paddy and tomato you like to have. Now the second question is, how I will engage the resource to have it. So now you know I like to have the paddy. Now how you will engage the resource, that means you will use the land or other resources to produce paddy in a most efficient way. So the technique of production becomes important. So how to produce? How to produce? The technique of production is important. So for example, in the first case, what you did actually, you see, you had to choose. So what you are choosing? Choosing, so choice of what? Goods. What goods you like to have? So first choice you have to make. What to produce, that means what are the things you are going to produce. So you have a long list of desires, wants, so you cannot fulfill all these things since your resources are limited. So then you have to make this strategy. If you have a continuous supply of water, you don't need to worry. If you have limited supply, then you have to make this strategy. You have to think of alternative use of the resources. What are the most important things? So this is the first question. And second question again, you have to choose. Choose what? Choice of what? Technique. Technique of production. You have to choose that. So this is the second thing. So you have to choose the technique of production, because rice can be produced by using more labor, land, etc. Also the same thing you can do by using the same land combined with technology or capital, etc. So you can combine capital with other resources, or you can use more labor, lower amount of capital to produce the same thing. So you can do this. So this is the second question. And third question is what? Since you are thinking of the efficient use of the resources, that means you produce the things, but you will find a big portion of the citizens or people are surviving yeah, they cannot survive. They are in the distribution process, they are not better off. So what is the role then government can play? So whether government will play any role or not. So the third question is related to distribution. Because the distribution is not fair, then the total welfare will not be maximized. So in a sense, the efficient use of the resources is not achieved. So that is the third question. So for whom to produce? So for whom to produce? So this is the choice of, the third question is what? Choice of the distribution. So you have to choose in every case. First, you have to choose the items you like to produce, which are essential for you or necessary for you. Second is, now I will use the resource to produce these things. So how I will produce these things? What is the best technique where my resource will not be used that much? So where my resource use will be most efficient. So that's why this second question is very much important. And third is, once it is produced, you will now distribute. So who will distribute? How to distribute it? So you have to learn about the economic system. So where we are producing these things, and then how it will be distributed depends on the system. So we will talk about the system later on. So now we will start with the first question. So how to address the first question? How we choose the items? So what are the groundworks we have to do before choosing the items? So what we have to start with? What do you think? For example, if we start here with the first question, what to produce? So this is the subject matter of economics. In economics, actually, these three questions, how these three questions are solved, addressed, that is discussed in economics. So the role of economics is to address these three questions, to ensure that the first question is addressed in a best way, and the second question is also addressed in a reasonable or best way. Okay, and the third question also is important in economics. But why these three questions are coming? Why? What is the reason? Because of the scarcity of resources. If you don't have any scarcity of resources, you don't need to think about economics. So economics is when you talk about economics, always it comes with the scarcity of resources. If you don't have any scarcity, you don't need to think about economics. So economics actually deals with these three questions. So let us start with the first question. So because of scarcity, what we are doing? We like to ensure the efficiency. So that's why these two things, scarcity and efficiency, these two things are called twin themes of economics. So what are the twin themes of economics? One is scarcity, another is efficiency. If you don't have any scarcity of resources, you don't need to think of efficiency. Whenever you have scarcity, then you start to think how we can maximize the efficiency of the use of the resources. That is, efficiency comes when the scarcity is there. So let us start with the first question. How in economics this first question is addressed? So what is the process, or what are the groundworks we have to do?
Sir, actually, scarcity is but I have no efficiency. Then it will be economics.
No, it will not be an economic solution. So economics is there to ensure the maximum use of resources. Why? Because resources are scarce. Most of the resources cannot be renewable. And once you use the resource, then you don't have any other option where you can use the resource again. So that's why if you are not careful enough, then it will not, yeah, so you will not be better. So economics is actually dealing with the welfare of the citizens of the society. So if you like to ensure the maximum welfare, you must ensure all these things. Otherwise, some people think that, okay, I have the resources, they are wasting their resources. This is not a rational behavior. So, for example, you have a farm, so you are producing something. Okay, but if you produce another thing, maybe you would have got more profit, earned from more profit. So what happens now? So what you are producing, it is not giving you that much profit. So if it happens, that means you are not rational. You have to produce something which will give you the maximum profit. So these are the groundworks you have to do. The economics, idea of economics or concepts of economics will help you when you go to decide something related to production or sales, whatever it is. So you have to think of all these things categorically. So what are the things I will produce and how I will produce. So what to produce? If you think, start with this question. What to produce? Now, okay. If you have a resource, for example, a piece of land, so what things you will produce on this piece of land?
Basing on the fertility of the land.
Right. So first you have to think of the capacity of the resource. That is very important. If you don't know the capacity, then how will you decide? So you have to know the capacity. Maybe the engineers or somebody else who is related to this kind of activities, they will give you the idea or data on the capacity of the land. How much paddy can be produced, or tomato can be produced, or other things can be produced. So if you have, for example, 100 workers, this is your total resource, for example. This is your total resource. Now, for example, 5 workers can produce 1 chair a day. Okay. And 10 workers can produce 1 table per day. So 5 workers can produce together, they can produce 1 chair, and 10 workers can produce 1 table. Now if you draw a table like this, put a chair here, table here. So if you produce only chair, how many chairs you can have? 20. Because you have 100 workers. This is your resource. So you can have 20 chairs. Okay. How many tables you can get? 10 or 0? Because if you produce 20 chairs, do you have any other resource? No. So you cannot produce any table. Now if you like to add, for example, 5 tables. 5 tables. So how many chairs now you can produce? 10. If you add 5 tables, you have to reduce the chair production by 10 units. So you are adding 5. But if you didn't add these 5 chairs, what would you have? Maybe you could have got 10 more chairs. So now if you have these 5 tables more, you have to give up these 10 chairs. আপনাকে এটা ছাড়তে হচ্ছে। এটা একটা অপশন আপনার ছিল, একটা অপরচুনিটি ছিল। So that's why this 10 is the opportunity loss for you. For what? For what? For having these 5 tables. So this is the opportunity cost of producing 5 chairs. That means opportunity cost is something you are foregoing or you are giving up to have something else. For example, you came to this class. So you are spending 3 hours here. So altogether maybe 5 hours. So we stayed at your office or whatever it is. So you have the options. So these 5 hours you could have used at your office or you could have stayed at your home, etc. So you have the options. So since you came here, you have to give up that option. That is called opportunity loss. So if you just quantify it, you get the opportunity cost. Opportunity cost, opportunity, that's almost synonym. So So when I talk about the opportunity loss, it's a general term. But if you say, okay, for having this 5 units of table, you are giving up 10 units of chair. So this is the opportunity cost because you are quantifying. So you are putting value in. But if you say, okay, if I don't come here or I didn't come here, maybe I could have had a nice sleep. So how you will quantify that? So if you can quantify, then you can say opportunity cost. Otherwise, you can say opportunity loss. That's the opportunity loss. You lost that opportunity for coming here. So this is one thing. Okay. Then if we add another 5 units of table, another 5 units. So how much you are losing? So 5 units by 10. So for 10, 100. So 0. So another 10 you are losing. So for this 5 you are losing 10, and also that for that 5 you are losing 10. So now you see, if you just draw a diagram here, like no. So you can draw a line like this. So put table here and chair. Okay. So now if you put produce 20 chairs,
Downward slope.
yeah, you can get 20 here, for example. And then how many tables you got? 0. So if you add another 5 tables, like 5 here. So how many chairs you will get? 10. So take a point here. So you have another one point here, another point is here, and 10. So 10 tables. So number of chairs 0. So another point. So if you add all these points,
Downward slope.
okay. So this is a line. So what is the characteristics of this line? For example, take a point here or take a point here. A. So do you think that A can be produced? A means what? 5 units of table and 20 units of chair. Do you think that A can be produced by your resource? No, it's not possible. So this is an impossible combination. Impossible combination. So by your resource, you cannot produce it. This is an impossible combination. What about this? For example, take B here. What about B? B is possible or not?
B is possible.
Possible. It is possible. Possible. But it is also efficient, because this is the highest level you can go. Okay, just take another point, maybe here. C. Possible or not?
It's possible, but
Yes, it is possible, but inefficient. So we have 3 points. One we took on the line, so it is on the line, and another is outside this line, and another is inside this line. So this point is impossible because your resource is not capable to reach that point. It's an unreachable point or unattainable point, etc. And any point on this line is possible, attainable point, attainable combination. So for example, this combination 10, 5, 5. So this is attainable. 10 units of chair and 5 units of table. This is attainable. Your resource can be used to produce maximum this combination. Or you can come here. This point is possible also. This is also on this line. But this C, for example, maybe 3, I don't know. And you will have 1 point here. So this combination is not possible. It's possible, but not efficient. Why it is not efficient?
because
You are wasting the resource. So it is not meaning that I am producing this, but I have some resources spare. It is not like that. You are producing, this is a fixed amount of resource, but you are producing C, where you could have produced B. So any point on this line indicates the maximum capacity of the resource. So these are the most efficient points. These are the most efficient combinations. So see, your resource, this 100 workers, by this 100 workers, you cannot go beyond this line. You cannot go beyond this line. So what happens? This is your border line. Border line. Or we call it frontier. Frontier. Frontier is what? What is frontier? Shima. This is kind of border. Boundary. So frontier of what? Frontier to অনেক কিছু আছে আমার দৃষ্টি সীমানা বলি না বলি না সময় গানে যে ছিল আমার দৃষ্টি সীমানা মানে কি হ্যাঁ যদি ওই ম্যাগনার পারে ঘুরে তাইলে আপনি কিন্তু এই দৃষ্টির সীমানার মধ্যে আসবেন দৃষ্টির সীমানা হলে বাগানের মধ্যে ঘুরতেছে
দৃষ্টি যায়
তার মধ্যে তাইলে ব্যাপারটা হলো যে এই দৃষ্টির সীমানা আমরা যখন বলি যে দিস ইজ দ্য বর্ডার দিস ইজ দ্য ফ্রন্টিয়ার কার ফ্রন্টিয়ার আমার সাইটের ফ্রন্টিয়ার আমার আই সাইটের ফ্রন্টিয়ার এখন আসলে তো আকাশটা মাটিতে কখনো লাগে না আমার দৃষ্টির সীমানা ওই পর্যন্ত দৃষ্টির একটা ক্যাপাসিটি আছে তাই না ঠিক রিসোর্সেরও এরকম ক্যাপাসিটি আছে resource got the highest capacity. So this borderline is the highest capacity. So resource can produce a lot of combinations inside this line and on this line. It cannot go beyond this line. So that's why we name it what? The production possibility frontier. That means PPF. Sometimes it is called PPC because it's a line or curve. So PPC, production possibility curve. So PPF is what? It is a line, it is a frontier, or it's a line which shows what? PPF is this line. So PPF is a line that shows different points of what? Different points, each of which shows the combination of two commodities that can be produced by our limited resources with maximum efficiency. So what is PPF then? PPF is a line that shows different combinations of two commodities, or it can be more. It doesn't matter. For simplicity, because it is a two-dimensional space, for simplicity we assume that there are two commodities. It can be 3, 4, it doesn't matter. So if it is 3, so then you have to make this. So 3-dimensional graph you need to use. So you can use 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional as much as you want. Yeah, X, Y, Z. Yeah, so how far you can go. So, but here we are using 2-dimensional. That's why we put 2 goods here. And this line, any point on this line, shows the maximum efficiency. So, PPF shows the combination of 2 commodities. In this example, chair and table, which can be produced by using our limited resources with maximum efficiency. So then what PPF is? PPF is a line that shows different combinations of 2 commodities that can be produced by using our limited resources. By using our limited resources with maximum efficiency. So this point on is not on PPF. Any point, inside this line is not on PPF. So any point which lies on PPF, it is the best point. It is the most efficient point. Now tell me, which point you will choose from this space? You have a space here. So you have points outside this line, inside this line, on this line. Which point you will choose? Yes, any point on this line. And it will choose B or this one or this one. It depends on your economic system. All are same, all are most efficient, but it depends if you need more chair or more table. That's the thing. So always we try to find these combinations, because this is the basket. You have to pick from this basket. Maybe the engineers or the production managers, they will identify all these points, maybe 5, 6 combinations. So they will say, okay, before the board of directors or I don't know, the decision makers, they will put these combinations. These are the combinations. We have this resource, so we cannot go beyond this. Now the economists and the other decision makers, they will sit together. And that is where actually the economics actually came in or comes in. Otherwise economics, there was no necessity of economists to be here. So what is the role of economists? So economists actually consider all the social conditions, etc., profitability, a lot of things. Then they suggest that this combination will be best. So among these combinations, one combination is chosen. So now it depends on the system, whether your system is a capitalist system or a socialist system or a mixed economy or an Islamic economic system. So it depends on the system where you will actually be, here or here or here. So we will talk about the systems later on. So what system actually of what type, what are the decision making process in different systems.
6 chair, 1 table is the best combination of 2 items.
Okay. So okay.
6 chair, 1 table.
Yeah, 6 chair, 1 right. So now the thing is,
Dining table.
yeah. So it depends on what. You see, when you think of 6 chairs, 1 dining table, so that is very much related to your residence, because at your home you will need this combination. But if you think of an office or a restaurant, sometimes it may not work, or a canteen, maybe 10 chairs or 20 chairs. So you see, it depends. In a Chinese restaurant, so it can be different. So that's why we said, okay, so can we decide by ourselves that this will be the combination, or it is automatic? Nobody can influence. You will decide your case, he will decide his case. So in a country, where will be, আমরা কি এখানে থাকবো না এখানে থাকবো না এখানে থাকবো, এটা কি কেউ ডিসাইড করতে পারে? ডিপেন্ড করে সিস্টেমের উপর। যদি ডিসাইড প্রত্যেকটা ব্যক্তি ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালি কাজটা করার স্বাধীনতা থাকে তাদের, তাহলে তো আপনি বলতে পারবেন না আসলে কোথায় গিয়ে ঠেকবে। এটা এখানেও চলে গিয়ে ঠেকে যেতে পারে, এখানেও যেতে পারে, একদম 0 চেয়ারও হতে পারে, আবার 0 টেবিলও হতে পারে। ডিপেন্ডস ব্যক্তিগুলো কিভাবে বিষয়টাকে দেখছে, কোনটা তার জন্য প্রফিটেবল, যে প্রডিউস করবে কোনটা তার জন্য প্রফিটেবল, তার প্রয়োজনের ধরনটা কেমন। তাহলে আমরা একটা সলিউশন পেলাম যে হোয়াট টু প্রডিউস। সো উই হ্যাভ টু পিক ওয়ান পয়েন্ট ফ্রম দিস লাইন। So this is called PPF, and PPF shows the combinations of 2 commodities that can be produced by using our limited resources with maximum efficiency. So what you have to do, if you have limited resources, you have to call the engineers or production managers or manager operations to come here and give me a chart or table or the combinations of 2 commodities which can be produced by these limited resources. So then they will talk about with the engineers, technicians. They will suggest some combinations of the commodities, 5 or 6 or 10, doesn't matter. They will suggest these combinations. Then the policy makers will choose which one they need for that factory, for their society, for the country. So this is the first portion. And now, if the policymakers think that, okay, fine, you gave this line or these combinations which can be produced by this amount of resources. So now I like to go there. This combination. I like to have more chair and more table.
Point.
So then what the production manager will say? They will just say, okay, we can go there, but we have to have more resources. We have to have more resources. But they said, no, we cannot increase the resource. So what we can do?
We develop our technologies.
Capacity can be developed.
Yeah, so we may have more resources, But if it is a natural resource, so they said no, it's not possible because it will take time to explore the new resource and so on. But if it is related to human resource, you can enhance it, but it also takes time because they need to come through a training or education system, so it takes time. So you can increase the natural resources, you can increase the human resources or capital. So yeah, so by providing training, education, etc. Or you can increase the level of technology, because technology will increase the capacity of the existing resource. Whatever resource you have, the technology can increase it. For example, I am taking this class, I am trying to record it. Why? The reason is, if I put it into your platform, even it is not recorded properly, but you can have an idea. If you cannot catch anything in the class, you can repeat it again and again. But the same thing, if you like to learn or know from me over phone, you see, this really tough thing. So see, technology can present me before you again and again without my physical presence. So that is possible. That is the beauty of technology. If you have technology, if you attach it with any resource, it got a higher capacity. Even if it is land, if you put a better seed, for example, hybrid seed or genetically modified seed, you will have more production. Or if it is land, you can put some fertilizer or something like this. So all are technology actually. So all are technology. So that's why we said, okay, so we can increase it. We can shift this line by increasing our resource, human resource, natural resource, human resource, or level of technology. Okay. Or capital. We can increase also the capital and technology. So this shift can be of different types. It can be shifted parallel. So, okay. So let us think of the type of the shifting of this PPF. So you have a PPF here. So now you like to go there. So what can you do? We can have this kind of parallel shift. So chair here, table here. It is possible, a parallel shift. Okay, this is one thing. Another thing can be like the technology you got or invented, it is very much related to table. So what will happen? Only table will be increased, but chair will remain same. So then shift can be like this. So table side will be increased, the chair side will remain same. So it is a kind of anti-clockwise shift. Anti-clockwise shift. That means it is shifting in this direction. Or sometime you may have some disaster or some natural calamity which can reduce your resource. So production can be reduced. So it can be shifted clockwise too. Or if you think of the chair, the technology you got, it is very much related, or resource you got, it is very much related to chair. So you can have this clockwise shift. Or it can come this direction, anti-clockwise shift. So it can be parallel, clockwise, anti-clockwise. It depends on the type of resource you got, new resource, or the type of technology you got. কারণ আপনি একটা টেকনোলজিতে সব ক্ষেত্রে একই রকম ভূমিকা রাখতে পারেন না। একটা কম্পিউটার বানানোর জন্য যে টেকনোলজি লাগবে এটা অবশ্যই টেবিল বানানোর জন্য লাগবে না। সুতরাং টেকনোলজিটা কোনটা এটার উপর ডিপেন্ড করবে আসলে আমার পিপিএফটা কিভাবে শিফট করবে। হ্যাঁ, ইফ you have new technology in the society, definitely PPF will shift. If you have a proper education and training in the society, in the long run, the PPF will be shifted. Or if you have explored new natural resources, it can be shifted. So that's why we said the most important resource is human resource, because natural resource is always limited. But if you like to explore the natural resource, you need the human resource. You need to have the skill. Otherwise, it will not happen. আপনি যে বাংলাদেশে চিন্তা করেন যে আপনার যে গ্যাস বা যেগুলো আমরা উত্তোলন করি, we cannot produce it. We cannot explore it. We cannot explore it. Why? Because we don't have the capacity. When the foreign farms are coming, companies are coming. Huh? Yeah. But who are exploring it? The foreign farms. So when they come here, they are taking a huge share of the output. For example, I think almost 80%. But how for example, what they do when they come, they dig into different places. They try to test where it is the gas is there, what the reserve is bigger or something like this. Then what they do. So it can be before exploring, they have a lot of activities, and all the costs they reduce or they deduct from the total production or revenue. Then the residual is distributed among the government and the farm. Maybe 50-50 or 60-50, doesn't matter. So যখন farm আসে, they always take the cost in the beginning from everything. Then the residual is divided. So এটা ডিপেন্ড করে যে ফার্মের সাথে আপনার সরকারের বাজেট পূজা পড়ে কেমন, এটার উপর ডিপেন্ড করে। তাহলে যেটা হচ্ছে যে আপনার যখন আপনি হিউম্যান রিসোর্স আপনার ভালো থাকবে, ইউ আর সেফ, টোটালি সেফ। If you got high skilled people, you can explore something like this, or you can have new technology, you can have a new capital whenever you want. So that's why human resource education training is more powerful. If you don't have proper education and training, it will not work. So education and training we are giving, for example, in this class. In the beginning I said, what is the reason for that? What's the reason? Maybe you didn't come here to learn something by which you will create something. Maybe you came here to just have a certificate which will be important for you, upgradation or new job or switching the job, etc. So that's why education training is very important. If the curriculum is not like that, if the curriculum doesn't make the people creative, innovative, then he or she cannot become a proper human resource. Isn't it? So if you like to become a proper human resource, you must have a education which is meaningful. So that's why we said, if you think of the shift of the PPF, we must have a meaningful education system or training in the society. Otherwise, it will be really difficult. Because otherwise, what you can do? You can improve a lot of things. You can bring a lot of people here, the skilled people from outside. Yes, some spillover will happen. So if you work with them, you will learn little. So, but this process is very slow. If you like to go fast, if you like to catch up, because if you are slow as a developing country, you cannot catch up. It's very difficult. So if you like to catch up, you must be faster than others. But the developed country, if they go slowly, it doesn't matter because they are already at the top. But if you like to catch up, your growth rate must be faster and your people must be skilled enough. Otherwise, it will not happen. So this is the first question we talked about. So what to produce? So to identify what are the combinations or what is the combination I will choose, I must think of the PPF. I have to have the PPF. Then I will take one combination from the PPF. Okay. Another thing is, why the PPF? What do you think? PPF should be straight line or a curve? So from the previous data, when I drew the PPF, it was a straight line. Why? And if it is a curve, in what case it will be the curve? And what is the usual case? Straight line or curve? What do you think? প্রথম যে আমরা পিপিএফটা করলাম, এটা straight line ছিল, fine. So what does it mean? Why it is straight line? If it is a straight line, For example, if you take 5, 25, so maybe it is 10. Yeah. So for this 5, you reduced your production of chair by 10 units. So this is an opportunity cost. So 10 is the opportunity cost of producing 5 units of table. 5 units of table. Okay. Then take another 5. So what will be the number of chairs again? Oh, sorry. No, this is 10, and it will always, this distance will be always 10. Always 10. Because if you add 5, আমরা যেটা করেছিলাম এটা আসলে এইটুকু হবে এর কারণ, হ্যাঁ? না এটা এই জায়গায় থাকবে। Okay. So if you add another 5, it's 10, 5. If you add another 5, so you are reducing the production of chair by 10 units. So it was 20, 0 amount of table, 10 with 5 tables, and 0 with 10 tables. So what happens? You are giving up 10 here, again you are giving up 10 here. That means the opportunity cost is constant. So this is constant opportunity cost. Why it is constant? Can it constant holo? Opportunity cost constant holo কেন? কারণ হলো যে আমি যে লেবারগুলোর কথা চিন্তা করছি, যে রিসোর্সটা চিন্তা করছি, তাদের স্কিলের লেভেল সেম। এখানে যাক ওইখানে যাক, আমি হারানোর মাত্রাটা সেমই হচ্ছে। যদি এমন হতো যে ধরেন আপনি এগ্রিকালচারে আপনার কিছু লোক এঙ্গেজ যারা আসলে প্রকৃত অর্থে ফার্মার না, কিন্তু কাজ পাচ্ছে না দেখে তারা ওখানে আছে, তারা যদি এখানে ধরেন আপনি উৎপাদন করছেন 20 মন বা সামথিং লাইক দিস, এখন দেখা গেল যে কিছু লোক নতুন তাদের যে কাজ, ধরেন আমি যদি চিন্তা করি ফার্মার, আর এদিক দিয়ে চিন্তা করি ধরুন বিবিএ করে কিছু ছেলে পেলে কাজ পাচ্ছে না, তারা তাদের নিজের জমিতে বা ফার্মে কাজ করছে। এখন তারা যদি একটা ব্যাংকে চলে আসে, লাভবান কি হবে? ব্যাংক বেশি হবে না ওই ফার্মটা যতটুকু লুজার হবে আর ব্যাংকটা যতটুকু লাভবান হবে, কোনটা বিকার? কারণ সে তো আসলে ব্যাংকটা, সে তো আসলে এই লাইনের লোক, তার স্কিল তো আসলে এই লাইন, তার স্কিল তো ওখানে না। সে যখন আসতেছে তখন প্রথম দিকে দেখা যাবে যে এরা হারাবে কম,